Hi and welcome to Cakes and Conversations, and this is Sonam here, and thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I'm extremely sorry that I have not been able to post up many videos or tutorials online because I was dealing with my own organization of my personal health issues and kids and everything. Most of my followers would be knowing that I'm a single parent, and so it's a little tough to organize that, but I'm back again. And today the first video that I'm posting here is with collaboration with Reema Ji from Rimzi's Kitchen. I'm gonna use her pesto to use in 3 different recipes. The recipes will be ranging from simple, medium to advanced. So let's get started and see how I'm gonna use her amazing classic pesto recipe, and it really smells and tastes delicious. So thank you so much, Reema Ji, for sending me this. I will post her link down below so that you can go ahead and check her recipe and make the same at your home at your convenience. So let's just begin with how to use the pesto sauce. You can of course use it for pasta, that is the normal and the traditional way, like everyone does it, but here we are going to do 3 different ways. Maybe you must have seen it before, maybe you must have not. So let's just get started. For the first and the most simplest recipe, we are just using butter and pesto paste or the pesto sauce, and I'm using the silicone mold. It's optional. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. It's just for the fancy way of using it. So the way we make herb butter, by melting out the butter and adding some herbs like rosemary and parsley and stuff, we are just going to do the same with pesto. And so I'm just going to melt this butter. There's no such particular ratio to it, so this is almost like 1.5 tablespoon of butter, and I'm going to use around the same amount of pesto sauce also to this. So let me just quickly melt this butter and come back. With 30 seconds microwave, I've just done this. I mean, the butter is melted. I'm going to use the pesto. You need to eyeball the butter also, because if you heat the butter more than 30 seconds, it will have the fats floating up because it will caramelize like a brown butter, and we don't really want that. I'm just going to add a little bit of black pepper to this. Fresh black pepper. And I'm going to set this in the mold. You can just set it in the bowl itself. As I told you, the mold is just optional. So I'm just going to set this in a mold. Gonna freeze it for a good 1 hour, and then I'll show you how I'm using it. I'll show you both the styles. So once your butter is frozen, the herb butter or the pesto butter is frozen, as I told you, this is an optional step of freezing the pesto butter in a particular mold. It's just for the ease. Okay, so you can just add it directly to the ingredient that I'm going to use. For that we need salt, we need fresh pepper and some chili powder. It's up to you if you want to add some Parmesan cheese or cheddar cheese or any other hard cheese that you want to grate on it, and also lemon juice is optional. Usually I don't prefer using lemon juice when we're using pesto, because it will alter the taste of pesto in the particular ingredient, and that is simple corn. You can just take the butter out along with a little pesto that's been stuck at the bottom. And that's it. I'm gonna add some salt, some pepper, and a little bit of chili powder. the heat of the corn will melt the butter. Just keep on stirring and let the butter melt. Similarly, you can just rub the butter on this corn cob as well. Whether it's hot or warm. If you see, the butter has completely melted with the heat already, and this has given you a perfectly good, easiest snack to eat. Once this is going to melt as well, I am going to add the pepper and the salt and everything to this also. It definitely gets your hands a bit messy, but it's okay. And chili is optional. If you want, you can add chili, or you can just leave it like that. So these are the two easiest, simplest way that I'm using the pesto, and let's now move on to the next recipe. So for the second recipe, that is the intermediate recipe where I'm using the pesto, my mom is helping me with this. So I've just taken some potatoes and we have peeled it and kept it in water because you know it will oxidize. After that, because of huge potatoes, we are cutting it into 3 chunks. We are making this aloo tuk chaat. Okay, it's known as, because we are going to fry the potatoes and then we're going to use it in the potato chaat. If you want to use it just like that, you can go ahead and use it normal boiled potatoes also that are normally used in the potato chaat. Okay, so we are just cutting into 3 chunks. If you don't want to go through the process, you can use baby potatoes. After that, we are just going to prick the potatoes, and my this oil is heating. We are going to fry this twice. So this is the first round of frying. We're going to prick the potatoes and then we're going to put it to fry. So after pricking the potatoes, we are going to add a little bit salt to the potatoes. You can omit it completely, that's completely your choice, because aloo chaat will have other condiments that will already make it a little salty. But the reason we add salt in is just fries quickly, it makes them softer and it uses less oil in frying. Now we started to add the potatoes to the hot oil. The potatoes will be added in hot oil and then you need to lower the flame. So these will fry on a low flame so that it's evenly cooked within. So after 5 to 7 minutes, you will be checking the potatoes with a knife. If the knife easily goes in, that means the potatoes are done, and if not, then continue frying for a few more minutes. After that, if they are done, we would be removing them at this stage and allowing them to cool down. Once the potatoes have cooled down, you need to just press them with your hand. You can use the back of your bowl or a plate or something. It should be flattened like this, but not so thin. It has to be a little thick. After flattening the potatoes, you need to refry them. Okay, that's the second time that we fry. We have to allow them to cool down before you flattening them, because if you are pressing the potatoes when it is hot, they are going to break apart. Once they are golden brown, you need to remove it on a kitchen towel to drain off the excess oil, and repeat the process for the remaining potatoes also. So after your potatoes have been double fried, I am now going to spice it up a little bit. You don't have to do this step if you add the spices when the potatoes are hot. When they are just out of frying, you have to add the spices. I am just showing you this step that in case if you forget and you want to do them later, we can still do them. Take ghee or oil or butter, anything in the vessel. Just heat it up a little bit. Then I have coriander powder, I have chili, I have turmeric, some dry mango powder, that is amchur, and I have cumin powder, that is jeera powder. We are not adding salt because we've already added salt in the potatoes when we had put them in the water for while frying. After the pricking, we had added salt to them. Once the oil or ghee is a bit hot, you just need to put all the spices. Just cook so the raw smell goes away. Do not burn them. When you see the bubbling and the foaming up of the spices, just start to add the potatoes to them. Just ensure that they're evenly coated in spices, and that's it. You just have to remove it off flame and allow it to cool a little bit. Now we are ready to assemble the toop chaat that we are making with the pesto. So it's just a very simple recipe. The toop that we made, just take some pieces. These are already spiced. Okay, lay them down. Now we start from here and then we end it on the sev. Okay, I'm going to add some tamarind sauce, tamarind chutney, tamarind sauce, whatever you call. You get this ready made, or you can get it from, or you can make it at home. Okay, then the green chutney, that's the staple for every chaat. Just small dollops, not too much, because we are also going to use pesto. That's another green ingredient that we have. Then we have some dahi, that's the yogurt. Then we have anardana, which is pomegranate seeds. You can use the dried ones or you can use the fresh ones. I am using the dried ones. This will give a nice tang. Then we use the pesto. Again, small dollops. It will just take your chaat to a different level in terms of taste. See, usually chaat will have fresh coriander, but no one can imagine coriander with basil, with pine nuts, what all goes with the pesto sauce. And then we have some chaat masala, and then we have the sev. I'm going to repeat the process and do like a layering of this chaat. that's our beautiful chaat that's ready to eat. So now with this beautiful chaat, you can also add in your beetroot slice. I mean the grated beetroot, or even ginger, grated ones like the small pieces, depending on how you want to do an add-on to it. But our chaat is ready and it's very, very delicious.